The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Kevin, thank you for the cards. Good to see you. Kara, awesome. Good to see you too. Got me the lion, the snake, the crow, the hyena, and spider. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for doing that for me. And Kara, it's always a pleasure to see you. So, good evening, my peeps. What a day. It's going to be a very, very good show, I do believe. And as you all know who I am, I call it from my heart. As, I call it from what I see it, so we all have opinions. And tonight I'm going to give you my opinion on angels and demons. Okay. Now, I want to thank you, PRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi and 107.7 New Orleans for allowing me to give you 2 shows a week, Sunday nights from 8:10 to 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time, and Tuesday nights from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. And I am really psyched up about it tonight, and you know how you get like premonitions? You get all these premonitions going, and it's just like signs keep popping into you, and for the last couple of days, a lot of signs have been coming up for me. Demonic signs. Okay. And I said to myself, why don't you do a show on angels and demons? Okay. So I really did some research, and of course I got my AI phone, which I will be going to use tonight, because there is so much information out there about angels and demons. Okay. Now, this week, there's a famous show going to be showing all week tonight. Stacy, good to see you. Thank you for lurking, buddy. And I don't think I'm allowed to say the name of the show, okay? Because I don't want us to get in trouble. But does anybody know what this week is on TV? It's famous. It's really, really famous. It's Shark Week. So right now I am in competition for the first day of Shark Week. Yes. So to start off the show tonight, I would do my own shark show at the beginning of this show. Yes, there is angel sharks. I bet y'all didn't know that. Hey Heidi, good to see you. So me and my brother were sitting around the other day, and I just asked him. I said, "Can you Google angel sharks?" And I didn't think there were any. And to my surprise and my brother's surprise, Audrey says there is angel cats. Of course, there's angel cats. Definitely. Hi, tell Audrey I said hello, and please give her a hug for me, Heidi. Who we got here for less stress? Hello, good to see you. Now, back to this angel shark that my brother looked up. And yes, angel sharks are real. They make up a unique family of bottom-dwelling sharks with flat bodies and large wing-like fins that make them look very much like rays. Okay. The physical traits. Baby shark do do do, baby shark do do do, baby shark do do do, baby shark. I'm going to be living that one in my brain all day today, all night, and probably all tomorrow. But the physical traits of the angel shark are flat head and body with wide pectoral fins, eyes and spiracles located on top of the head, 5 gill slits visible on the sides of the head, unlike rays, which have gills underneath. And they grow up to 2 to 0.4 meters long, depending on the species. But ain't that pretty cool? Now think about it, right? So they're saying that angel sharks really work, right? And so someone takes a dive to the bottom of the ocean or something. All of a sudden they see an angel shark. Would it be freaking amazing if they saw a halo around this shark? Wouldn't it be amazing if somehow the sun hits the shark, hey Jolie, at a certain way that this angel shark would have a halo written around him or her? That would be funnier than hell. So when I read this, I was like, holy shit, could this shark, this angel shark, have a halo? And I don't know, then my mind went off to Never Never Land. And I got into a couple dimensions out there, and I was just like thinking, what if this angel shark had a halo? I mean, scientists are discovering everything now. Who knows? Maybe there is angel sharks down there that do have halos. Now, are they the protectors of the sea? Do they have that angelic aura around them? Who knows? But we do know, okay. Kevin says like a prism in Aura Killers. Possibly. Yeah, I would think. So we have an angel shark. Now, the habitat and behavior, okay, for these angel sharks are found in shallow, temperate, and tropical coastal waters. They lie beneath, buried in the sand or mud during the day as ambush predators. And they feed on small fish, crustaceans, and mollusks. Now, over half of the angel shark species are threatened or endangered due to overfishing and habitat loss. But if you look at the habitat and behavior, right, they find in shallow, temperate, and tropical coastal waters. Yes. And they lie buried in the sand or mud during the day as ambush predators. Hey, Johnny. And they feed on small fish, crustaceans, and mollusks. Now, they lie beneath the sand and mud during the day, and they ambush. Wow, can you imagine that? Because so many scenarios went through my head. Now, is that, hey, Mish, now is that angel shark? Is it attacking? Yay, Shark Week. Yeah, Joni, that's why I got the angel shark here. Because I'm in competition this week with Shark Week. Yes. So, Johnny, I decided to do my little shark thingy. But that's all about the angel shark. Now, of course, I had to look. But my brother did the looking. So, you got your angel shark. That is extinct. So I had my brother Google, is there a devil shark? And you know what? It's called the black demon shark, or Delmonio negro, is a legendary cryptid rather than a real scientific verified creature. Sightings are primarily reported in Mexico Sea of Cortez, the Gulf of California, with claims describing an aggressive jet black shark reaching up to 20 to 60 feet in length. And the legend of the black demon, the local folklore, and fishermen have shared stories of an enormous dark-colored shark terrorizing boats in the region for decades. The myth gained mainstream attention in the late 2000s through shows like Monster Quest and has even inspired horror films. However, no specimen has ever been caught, filmed clearly, or documented by the scientific community. Kara says, ninja shark. That's funny. Marine biologists and researchers generally agree that the black demon is not a real undiscovered species. Experts attribute the sightings to a few natural phenomena. Okay. How much stuff is the scientist finding in the waters? My favorite shark, honestly, I would have to go with the mako shark. That would be my famous one. Now, these are some of the phenomena that the scientists think what this black devil shark is. Whale sharks. They're massive, harmless filter feeders that can get lengths up to 40 to 60 feet in low light conditions or murky water. Their large size and tendency to bump into boats can cause panic among fishermen. An oversized great white shark. Great whites can grow up to 20 feet, and some locals believe the sightings might be in an unusually large specimen of a great white shark. do 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 baby shark. Some cryptozoologists suggest that the shark could be a great white with melanism, a rare genetic condition that causes an overdevelopment of dark skin pigmentation. You know what? It says here for a deeper look into the scientific theories behind the black demon sightings and what experts believe fishermen are actually encountering in the Sea of Cortez. And so there you go. And for all the stuff that they're finding in the oceans, okay, there could be a black demon devil shark. So I'd like to hear your opinions on that, everybody. What do you guys think? I believe there could be. Kevin says, that girl warns me Peach's son. I don't know. Hey, Squish, good to see you. Proxy. That's very possible, Proxy. Baby shark, do, baby shark. Is a mantis a shark? I don't know, Kev. I don't know. But the mantis, what are they? They beat the crap out of people. Or shells and fish. Mantis shrimps. Yeah, that's what they are. But I just thought I would bring that up about a double shark and an angel shark. Because it is Shark Week that is on. Who I am like not duking it out with, but they're on now, and so is my show. So I just gave you my own little shark, my shark thingy. But yeah, I thought it would be pretty cool to see if there were a devil shark and an angel shark. And there are. Which brings me to what we were talking about. What's my favorite song? Oh, I have a lot of favorite songs. A lot of favorite songs. But since this is Shark Week, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark. Okay, there we go. I'm going to be singing that all night. Miss says easiest way to walk on water is to see a shark when you're swimming. That's true. But from what I understand, Miss, that the sharks are afraid of human beings. But I don't know. Little thing about the shark show tonight that I'm going to be doing pretty soon here because it's coming up on the bottom of the hour. And you know what happens at the bottom of the hour, I take my break. But I want to talk about angels and demons. It just seems like I haven't heard about it for a while. Squish, do I like Taylor Swift? Am I going to get executed if I say no? I'm joking with you, Squish. If you like Taylor Swift, go for it, huh? I don't. But do I like Taylor Swift? That was the first question ever. I'll let y'all duke it out in there in the chat room. But I believe that we haven't heard a lot from the angels and demons lately. Okay, and I feel like that we need to talk about it a little bit, right? So that's why I did come up with the topic tonight. Now there's a lot to get into with this. because you got the hierarchy of angels and then you got the hierarchies of demons. Okay. And I never knew there was hierarchies in angels. And when I read it, my very first view of, Merle Haggard's cool. I can deal with him. And I never knew there was different stages of angels. And I kept reading, and I was like, Nido? What the hell's Nido? I don't know. But there are different stages of angels. And there are different stages of demons. We're going to get into that. No, I don't do squishies. Nope. We're going to get into that tonight. We are going to get into the different levels of angels and demons. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Lucifer himself. You are an Earth Angel, Mish. You are. I see your halo all the time. Clock it, Gramps? I'm Gramps now? I don't know, but I don't know. Someone help me out with that one. But we're going to talk about it. So Kevin says, I think you can tap into demonic energy and use it for good. But be wise to be careful when doing so. Raise up your protections or stick to angelic guidance. That's true. You could, yeah. But we'll see as we go on to the show. But before I go to break, I want to tell you, I'm going to talk a little bit about Lucifer. Okay. And it's been a while, I think over a year now, since I gave my theory about Lucifer. And in the next half hour, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Lucifer and what I feel and what I have read and what I have listened to others. Proxy says, my view, same goes for the 7 deadly sins to the 7 virtues. Angels and demons are playing the game on different teams. I agree with you 200%, Proxy. 200% I agree with you. Now, it is at the bottom of the hour, and I do have to go to my break per rules of UPRN. And when I get back, I'm going to get into Satan. So see you in a couple minutes, everybody. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the second half hour of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. And tonight we are talking about angels and demons tonight. And in the first half hour, I talked about, angel sharks. And there are devil sharks too. So it was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. And thank you, Kevin. And now I wanted to do my little half hour on Lucifer. Now, what I'm about to say is my opinion and my opinion only. Okay. Um, and if it offends you, yes, it is a 2 hour show on Sundays. Yes, it is a 2 hour show, 8:10 to 10:10 p.m. Tuesday nights is 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. But I'm going to talk a little bit about Satan, and it is my opinion and my opinion only. And if you disagree with me, you're allowed to disagree with me. Okay, you're allowed. No harm, no nothing. Like, I would not never ever judge because it's not my deal to judge people. It isn't. If you believe in something, then that's cool. But if you look at, I'll call it the book. When I call the book, it's like the Bible. Okay, but to me, that's another show. To me, that needs to be rewritten. But Lucifer was only mentioned one time, and that was by a prophet in the Old Testament. Okay, to where Satan was mentioned, I do believe 32 times. And here's my biggest beef about it. Okay, and this is my biggest beef about the book. Okay, so was um, if Lucifer was only mentioned one time in the Old Testament, how come they put the name Satan 32 other times? Well, instead of putting the word Satan, they should have put the word Lucifer in there. But they didn't. But they didn't. And to me, and I did a lot of research on this, and I have done shows about this, and I have listened to people who study the Bible, who study religions. I saw a lot of stuff on Discovery channels, history channels, because it fascinated me. Okay? It fascinated me. And the deal is that Lucifer was sent down to hell to keep an eye on Satan. Yes. He wasn't down. He wasn't sent down or kicked out of heaven to become Satan. There are three entities down in heaven. Down in hell, I'm sorry. There's three entities. You got the devil, which is separate from Satan. Satan, and a lot of people think Lucifer is Satan. And they believe that Michael kicked Lucifer out of heaven because he was a little jealous of God. Okay. And by just reading and watching and listening, I beg to differ. Okay. What was written in the book a very long time ago was to scare the shit out of the pagans. It was supposed to scare the shit out of the people who were not Christian so they can go into Christianity. And so, of course, they're going to write in the book that he was a big fight between Lucifer and Michael up in heaven. And Michael won and kicked Lucifer out. But in all the research, hey Sherry, but in all the research that I did and listening to all the other biblical scholars and everybody who was a part of this, were saying, and it was, it was not just one scholar, biblical scholars, it was teachers, it was priests, it was rabbis, that right now, up in heaven, there's an empty seat sitting on the left side of God. Okay? And when the world ends, when it's completely gone, Lucifer is going to be sitting on the left-hand side of God again. Do I think Lucifer got a bad deal? I did. I mean, they call him Morning Star. Oh, it's okay to have a delay one. Thank you, Heidi. And I believe he got a raw deal from the people who wrote the book. No, I'm not a Satanist. No, I'm not a demonologist. No, I'm none of that. None of that stuff. What I say is what I see. And trust me, it kind of bothered me for a long time to realize what I was taught a long time ago. But I was taught a long time ago, growing up in the Catholic Church, that he was bad. It's hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that Lucifer at one time was, God loved him so much. God loved him for, like, he was the number one. Is it possible that Michael got jealous of Lucifer? You know? Did Michael get jealous of God because Lucifer was getting all the attention? And so he decided to duke it out with Lucifer to kick him out? And as what the scholars people who wrote in the damn book, who wrote in the book that Michael was the fighting angel who kicked Lucifer out of heaven and sent him down to hell. And I just can't see it. I just can't see it. So I really believe in my heart that Lucifer was sent out of heaven, not kicked out, but was sent to hell to keep an eye on Satan. Because if he wasn't, if there was nobody watching Satan, think about this, everybody. Think about it. If there was nobody keeping an eye on Satan, God only knows where this world would be. Kevin says, that resonates, Sean. It feels like there is so much more to the Lucifer stories than we are told in the book. True. I totally agree with you, Kevin. And you know what's sad? Here's what's the sad part about it, Kevin. The only thing they write about Lucifer is him getting kicked out of heaven. And there are other stories out there. There's probably other books out there, but I just can't wrap my head around it, dude. Because I believe, yes, Sherry, yes, Lucifer and Satan are two different beings. They're two different entities. I believe that Lucifer was not kicked out of heaven by Michael. I believe Lucifer was told to go down and keep an eye on Satan. There's actually another being down there too, Sherry, and it's called the devil. So there's three beings in heaven. And I keep saying heaven. We're not to the angels yet. But there are three beings, entities down in hell. According to scholars, according to them. So I think, again, I believe that Lucifer was just sent down to keep an eye on Satan. Now, yes, we do have free will here. And yes, you have the choice. You were always told they were the same. Cool. That we all were, Sherry. We all were. And then one day I decided to watch this show. I do believe it was on the History Channel. And they were talking to religious scholars, people who study religion. That's all they do in life is, and they were saying the same thing. So I was intrigued by it, and so I did my own reading. But it's so common sense. There's so much common sense why he was sent down. And sure, he was only mentioned one time in the Bible, and that was by a prophet in the Old Testament. 32 other times the word Satan was written in instead of Lucifer. I don't, Sherry. That was a while back. Honest to God, I don't. I don't remember. I'm like, I remember yesterday, buddy. Be honest with you. And it might have been the History Channel. I really don't know. It was one of them. I was sitting down and watching it. And these scholars were talking about it. So that's my opinion. That is my opinion about Lucifer. I believe he got a raw deal by that one person. That one person in the Old Testament. Oh, yes. No, there's no confusion. We know you're a day ahead, Mish. We do know you are. And who knows what's it going to be? We can't change nothing now. We were always taught that there were two, that they were the same person. I did for a long time. And then it just became common sense for me. That why would you kick out Lucifer out of heaven? And God loved him so much. And they're saying in the book that he kind of, not, I don't know if it was written in the book. He was just mad because he didn't like the way God was handling stuff. And so Michael, of course, written by people, saying, well, that's who kicked them out of heaven and sent them to hell. And Sherry, real quick, I want to say, and I already said, I'll say it again. If you look at the Bible, the book, Lucifer was mentioned one time, and that was in the Old Testament from a prophet. And Satan was mentioned 32, 35 times in the whole book. So here's what really, really started me to think about it, okay? Here's what let me think about it. Was if these people honestly thought Lucifer was Satan, then why not the 35 other times Satan was written down instead of Lucifer? Hey, Cat. And that's what started it, Sherry. That's what started it. Why couldn't they just put Lucifer in instead of Satan? Why did they put Satan's name in there? Why couldn't they just put Lucifer's name in there? Thank you, hon. And that's what got my brain rolling on this. So, but I'm not here to, change people's thoughts. I'm not here to tell you that, I don't know what's going. You're from Poland. Oh, welcome. That is nice to hear. Someone from Poland. That's great. Welcome to my show. I just think that they really need to write a new book. And be honest about the new book that they write in. I just hate to see people blaspheming the names or saying things that aren't true just to scare the shit out of people to turn into Christianity. And that's one of the stories that did. Now, I said this on my other show the other night. Okay, now my friend Penny, she's really big into the Greek mythology. So during the mythology, they had this dude named Pan, P-A-N, and he was half goat, half man, half man, half goat. And he played the flute. So what Christianity did at the time is they took the face of Pan and they drew horns on him. I was raised 12 years with the Catholic Church and Catholic schools, and that's for another story, Cat. If you're happy and if it helps you move on in life, then go for it. But the Christianity, they threw horns, they drew them on Pan's face, on the top of his head. And that's how they got the picture of Satan with horns. Now, I'm not going to turn this into a religious battle here. I'm not, Do your best, Cac. Go your best. Sherry, Heidi, Kevin, this is Cac from Poland. You just do the best you can, Cac. We all love each other in here, and we welcome you. So I'm not trying to bring a point across to anything about Lucifer being Satan or Satan being Lucifer, whatever. I'm not, I'm just expressing how I feel and what I read. It's common sense. It's common sense. So whatever you believe in, then go for it. Yes, Cac, love is very important. And that's what we need. We need a lot of love. Especially now what's going on in the world. Especially what's going on in the world. Of course, God is love. I'm just catching my breath here, everybody. Well, that's all I wanted to say about Satan, Lucifer, the devil, the book, and just share it again. Because I think, no, not think, I believe that it should be, that this topic should be, brought out, not just by me, by others. You know what I mean? There is so much in the book that I disagree with, and that's my opinion, nobody else's. And we'll see where it goes from here. That's all we can do, is to see what goes on. And everybody knows, especially the people who follow me in my shows, I need to see the proof. I need to see the proof that that actually happened for that reason. It's really hard for me to take the word of someone that probably didn't even know what was going on. That he heard it from a story, that heard it from a story, that heard it from another story. What Joni called it last week, the telephone line. Yeah, the gang. And each time the story was told, then another story, some more was added to it. I'm going to tell you one more story why I really have a problem with the book. And then we're going to drop this, about how I feel. And this is another thing that really had me thinking and kind of blew me away. If you look at the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, okay, in Matthew, Judas wasn't even mentioned. In Mark, that's when Judas came on the scene and started to, be friends with Jesus. In Luke, okay, in Luke, that's when Judas and Jesus, and this is the way I say it, they're friends. They're very good friends. Now here's the crazy part, everybody. In John, who was written 96 years after Christ died on the cross. Sherry says, how would anyone know what happened in heaven? Who would have told the first story? Correct, Sherry. Correct. I didn't know how to sentence that question. Thank you for doing that to me. Sherry says, how would anyone know what happened in heaven? Who would have told the first story? Thank you, Sherry. And I'm being on, I'm very happy you brought that up, because that's what I've been thinking all, for the longest time. And it's not so much what happened in heaven. This story I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, so John, the 4th chapter in the New Testament, was written 96 years after Christ died on the cross. Okay? And John blamed Judas on Christ, with him getting crucified. And he got paid 30 pieces of silver. Now, if you look at the picture when Jesus was died, that got crucified, think about this. Okay. Think about this. The Judeans are the ones who crucified Christ. The Judeans. So whoever wrote John, or heard the stories before it got to that point, if you take Judas and the Judeans, the names are similar. Judas, Judeans. And I guess whoever wrote that story could have been a Judean. Who knows who wrote that story? Could have been 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people who wrote that book. But to put it out 96 years Uh, 90, whoever put that in there after 96 years of Christ, it just does not make sense. It don't. It don't make sense. And that's why I have a problem with the book. And that's all I'm going to say for now. And that's all I'm going to put because I'm getting a little, my Irish is starting to kick up in here. But I wanted to share with you for this half hour. And I wanted to share the story of Lucifer. And I wanted to share the story of John. How stories are said by other people and they get put into the book. You like my pineapple shirt? Thank you. I'm getting a cherry one and I'm getting an orange one. Maybe I was thinking of getting a banana shirt, but I'm not sure yet. Any suggestions out there what kind of shirt you should get? Should I get? I like the oranges. They're sweet. And the lemons are pretty cool too. But we are at the top of the hour. And we're going to go on another break, and then we're going to talk about the hierarchy of demons that stem from classical demonology in occult text. Okay, Kat, thank you for stopping in. Have a good one. So we're going to take a little quick break, come back, and then we're going to talk about the hierarchy of demons that stem from classical demonology. 3 a.m., holy mackerel. Good night, Kat. Good night. Thank you. So Joni says the same thing. I feel that Judas, he got a raw deal too. He did. Judas got a raw deal. Lucifer got a raw deal. But we're going to take our break, go smoke a cigarette, go to the bathroom, get something to drink, and I will see you back here in a couple minutes. There, we'll go with this one.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly, for the last hour. Buck Brown, good to see you, my friend. Yes, Buck's in the house, which is cool. I'm glad he is, because I like Buck. I work with Buck. He's a good dude. So the last part of the show, we were just talking about, my deal with my story. Thank you, Heidi. the why I think Lucifer and Judas got a raw deal in the book. But since now it's 9:00 at 10, we're going to talk about the hierarchy or the major demons of hell and what they're embodied, their sins that they embody to everybody. Now, before we go on, I just want to say another reason why I brought this up was because there's a lot of negativity going on out there. And it seems like hell is everybody's just, nobody at work was smiling at all today. No one's smiling. Everybody has anger issues, and you can feel it in the air sometimes. And I felt it today at work. And I feel it whenever I go out, if I go to McDonald's or something like that, or wherever I go and I'm on the outside, people are not happy. People are angry. People, and as I said before, we do have free will. We have free will. And we can do whatever and how we want to do because God gave us free will. Now, can you actually say that the ones who are not happy, the ones who are evil, are they possessed? How do you know you're possessed by a demon? The majority in my work, when I did clearing houses and stuff, a lot of people thought that they were possessed by demons. And the only reason why they're saying that is because of the movies and TV shows that are out there. And the majority of the time, they're not. They're just possessed by angry spirits that are in the house. And if you open up and you allow a bad spirit, an angry spirit come in, then it's going to possess you. And it can come in anyway. I mean, you can call it in yourself. You can just be brutally emotional. All kinds of stuff that can bring something in and just make life really hell and miserable for you. And right now, I believe that everybody out there, not everybody, the majority of everybody, that there's a lot of evil energy out there in the world today. And I also say a long time ago when I first started doing podcasting, the very first thing I'd say a lot was I wish that one day I pray when I'm alive. Well, I pray, hey, Vet Girl, I pray that we just have one day where everybody smiles at everybody. That everybody is smiling at each other. Nobody is shooting each other. No one is being nasty to anybody. Just one day, that's all I ask. Maybe it will come. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But I hope before I die that it happens. I would love to see it. Kara says, I smile, say hello. Good, Doris, please, and thank you, ma'am, answer. Yes, and that's the way to do it. Kara, if I can make one person smile, for the whole day, then I did my job. And that's how I look at it, one person at a time. And who knows? Maybe that person that I made smile today, or Kara smiled, or Heidi had somebody smile, or Kevin, or anybody, that the people would go and, yes, it costs nothing to be kind, Heidi. It doesn't. If those people would go and smile at another person that smiles back at them, and so on and so on and so on. But there's just so much conflict. There's so much negativity out there in the world that it's hard to get through. Yes, correct, Miss. The smell can go miles. And I hope it does one day. But who are the major demons in hell? Okay, so I looked that up, and of course, I got my AI phone. So I'm going to tell you. The traditional hierarchy of demons stems from classical demonology and occult text, like Bensfield classification of the seven deadly sins. The main demons, or princes of hell, and the sins they embody include Lucifer, the prince of pride, often considered the highest ranking fallen angel and leader of the infernal realm. Okay, what did I talk about the last half hour? About Lucifer. The second demon of hell is Satan, the prince of wrath, the ultimate adversary representing anger, hatred, and vengeance. Satan, if they're all thinking that Lucifer's Satan, man, then Satan don't belong on this list. It's what I was that was what I was saying in the last half hour of the show. Then Satan don't belong here. They should just have Lucifer's name in there. How can you have Lucifer and then you got Satan, the prince of wrath, and Lucifer's the prince of pride? Huh. It's crazy, ain't it? It's crazy. Okay. Asmodeus, the prince of lust, a destructive demon responsible for sexual desire and moral corruption. Heidi says, triumph, fight the good fight. The good book says it's better to give than to receive. I do my best to do my part. Lord, Heidi, I do know that, and so does everybody else. I really do. I totally agree with that for you. And Kevin says, I smile when they are out of view, roll eyes. And Heidi says, nothing in my pockets. I got nothing up my sleeve. I keep my magic in my heart. Fight the good fight every moment, every minute, every day. Fight the good fight. Every moment's your only way. So true, Heidi. Totally agree. Okay, you can wink. I love that too. But so as Asmodeus, the prince of lust, a destructive demon responsible for sexual desire and moral corruption. Mammon, the prince of greed, symbolizing wealth, materialism, and unbridled avarice. So, I guess there's a lot of mammons out there in the world today that have wealth and materialism stuff. Kason, good to see you, buddy. Then you got Beelzebub. Okay. Be careful. You don't want to say that name a lot, 3 times, because he's around. But Beelzebub is the prince of gluttony, also known as the Lord of the Flies. There's Leviathan, the prince of envy, a massive sea monster associated with jealousy and the destruction of nature of envy. And then there's Belgafor, the prince of sloth, often depicted as a lazy demon who tempts humans with idleness and easy wealth. Huh. It's interesting. But then again, you look at that, whoever wrote that, that was wrong. That was totally wrong. Because they put Lucifer and Satan in that same list. Let me see what this one says. Um, okay, let me see what we got here. No, it, there's so much stuff that is written here that it all they all say the same things. Let me see here. What we got here? Uh, okay, not that one. Historically, demon hierarchies and classifications were created by medieval and Renaissance demonologists, occultists, and theologians. Notable historical taxonomies include the 11th century classification by Byzantine scholar Michael Pelles and the 16th century demonic rank list by physician Joanne Wire in his text Synonymica Daemonum. That's 16th century. What's up, Spark? So are these demons and angels as they are given that name by men, or are they entities that known that those names are in history to strike fear? The later of that one, buddy, is it religion or entities acting the same? No, they were given names. They could be cosmic beings too. Right? You got to find who wrote the original story, who knew the original story in order to give these names. And to me, people just came up with names to tell people, and that's the way I look at it. So it's like, I mean, it's just okay. Here it says what are the nine ring diamonds? It says, okay, here we go. The 9 orders and their rulers. These are the 9 orders of false gods, the spirits of lying, and vessels of iniquity. I find that some of the high strangeness is cosmic or ET related. That's true. You can come back and say, Heidi, I'll ask this question. Heidi, could the ETs be evil? Or could the ETs be okay and good people? Are the ETs angels? Or are the ETs devils? Or demons? It's really weird. This world is like crazy. I would think it's definitely freaking crazy. Balance, of course. Okay, you must have had a misprint there, buddy. Kaysen says in Buddhist literature there is something called the wheel of birth and the death Samaric wheel. In it, demons are bound to the wheel with rusty iron chains, and angels are bound by shiny golden. And Heidi says, so good. There are all kinds of beings out there. True. But that would be for like a whole month of shows to talk about that one, my friend. But these are, I'm going to be reading now. Okay, the 9 ranks of demons outlined as the scale of Narbonne in occult demonology by Cornelius Agrippa, mirroring the 9 traditional angelic choirs, are false gods, spirits of lying, and vessels of iniquity. Yes, demons. Yeah, demon is a strong word. But a lot of people out there, especially the houses that I have done, that I have investigated, that I have cleared out, everybody thought they were demons, but they're not demons, Kara. They're freaking angry spirits. And before I go on with this, before I go, I'm going to tell you another story. I went when I was investigating. Okay. So we went to this apartment, and there was a guy and a girl living in this apartment, and they were having some really bad things happening in their bathrooms and in their living room, because it's like a one-bedroom apartment and stuff. So I go in, and I go in my meditation, and I go out there. I bring my Lakota with me, my wolf, and there he was. And all the demons in my meditations look like Uncle Fester of the Addams Family. You might think that's funny, but it's true. They look like Uncle Fester. Long story short, I was fighting this dude, and he was strong. He was strong. He brought out the hellhounds. I had to bring out my wolves. I mean, it was terrible. And then all of a sudden, what happened, and this is so true, you know, may somebody strike me dead if, you know, if what I'm saying is not true, but this is true. Okay. So the evil, he wasn't a demon, but he was evil. He was an angry, evil spirit. So where he was at, a circle opened up around, right beside him, circled right beside him, and was an open circle. This dark black figure came out, snatched that boy by the head, and pulled him into that hole. And it closed back up again. And they never had a problem ever since. And that's to this day, that's been like about 10, 12 years ago that happened. And they still haven't had a problem. But when I saw that floor open up, that circle, and this black figure came out, it wasn't Deadpool, hon. This black figure came out with a robe, came out, snatched that dude by the head, boom, pulled him under and closed it up. No doubt in my mind. So I have seen things. I have witnessed things. Especially that. That blew my mind. That blew me away. But that actually happened on an investigation. Now I'm going to get into the 9 orders here of who was written by Cornelius Agrippa. If you really want to get to know about this Cornelius Agrippa, I did a little bit of reading on him. But you know, if you really want to do it yourself and see what he has to say, what they write about him, his last name is Agrippa, Cornelius. The 9 orders and the rulers. False gods. 1. False gods. It's ruled by Beelzebub, representing idolatry and false worship. Spirits of lying, ruled by Python, representing deceit and lying prophecies. Vessels of iniquity, ruled by Belial, representing wickedness, wrath, and the inventor of evil arts. The revengers of wickedness, ruled by Asmodeus, representing revenge and malice. Deluders, ruled by Satan, representing trickery, jugglers, and imitators of miracles. Aerial powers, ruled by Miriam, representing powers of the air and pestilence. Furies, that's Furies, okay, ruled by Abaddon, representing discord, mischief, and destruction. Idaho says the most interesting part of demons is the only documentation we have on them is when the entities say that's my name. So is that the name of the classification of what they are? I guess. I don't know. I'm just reading this from AI, buddy. Oh, everything's a fair tactic, dude. Everything is. Everything's a fair tactic. You know that as well as I do, brother. You know it is. They've been doing that for years. I mean, beyond years. Then you got calumniators, accusers ruled by Astaroth, representing inquisitors and fraudulent accusers. And then the last one, tempters and ensnarers, ruled by Mammon, representing greed and enticement to sin. So there's a lot of freaking demons there. So I guess whatever that people are doing, like what is it, lying, I guess Python is representing deceit and lying prophecies. I don't know. This is what it says. So when you read that, it's like, shit. All the stuff that people do are run by all these demons. So there's like 9 or 10 demons representing one person and telling them what to do. It's just unbelievable. Do I believe in demons? Yes, demons do exist. There's no doubt about that. But I'm saying, and when I read these things, it's hard to wrap my head around all this shit that people write down. Because how do they know this stuff? How do they know? They don't know. They probably heard it like Joni's big deal, like big thing. She said it's the telephone line game. You know, and then God only knows what was read by back when Christianity wanted to take over the Druids, the pagans, what they said. It's just one big story that has different, it's like a tree. Okay? It's like a tree. You plant something, and all of a sudden it starts growing with a ton of branches. And each branch is a different story to the story that was planted. So I don't know. I do know that demons exist. I know that they are evil. Okay? But when people say that they are possessed by demons, okay, you really got to think about that. Hey, Joe Fox, I really got to think about that, honestly, because if a demon actually possessed you, you would definitely be not around to see the whole deal. You won't, because they had you. They would have you for dinner, lunch, and breakfast. So before you go around telling everybody that you are possessed by a demon, be careful what you say. Even though you're probably possessed with a freaking ghost or an evil spirit, you know, and you say that you are possessed by a demon, I believe that you just opened yourself up for a demon to pop in on you. In the Druid religion, there is no demons, just really bad spirits or entities that use what you fear. I guess there would be degrees of demon or evil, some more extreme than others. So that's why I look at it. There's only one Python. There's not 860 million of them. So it's all crazy. It's craziness that people actually write this shit down. How do they know? How do they know? growing up? Were we all taught a lie? I'm sure we were. Cindy Simpson. Hey, hi, buddy. Cindy was probably watching Shark Week. Just kidding, buddy. Just kidding. Baby shark to do to do, baby shark to do to do, baby shark to do to do, baby shark. Okay, so we are in the last half hour. Well, at the bottom, it's 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and what we're going to do is we are going to go do a couple-minute break here. I will be back. Okay, I will be back, and we're going to talk about the angels, which is a good thing. I figured the angels would be a nice thing to end up on. So I will see you in a couple minutes. Love you too, honey. Oh, tell your parents I said hello, okay, buddy? All right, so I'll see you back in a couple minutes. There, we'll play her again.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Hey, welcome back to the last half hour of the show. I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans for allowing me to give you two shows a week, Sunday nights from 8:10 to 10:10 p.m. Eastern, and on Tuesday nights from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time. So far, it's been a good show. Thank you, Heidi. I appreciate it. Sparky says angels are interesting as they cross many religions by different names, and even in the angelic Anglican Christian thought. There are more than 112 kinds of interesting topics. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But these are like the closest, these are the ones that, this dude picked out. So this is what I'm going to read tonight. The traditional Christian angelic hierarchy set up by, okay, here we go. This is a guy's name. Okay, this is a guy's name. Pseudo Dionysus the Areopagus. That is so hard to say because it's all Latin. Okay. In the 5th century, has 9 ranks split into 3 groups called triads. These groups are organized by how close they are to God and what jobs they do. The hierarchy of angels were as there are highs up to the lower angels and earth angels. True. Yes, sir. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. Who do you think are the closest angels to God? Do 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 do. Mitch says, if we are God's children, aren't we closer? Possibility. Heidi says archangels. Nope. Yeah, you looked it up, didn't you, buddy? Huh. Ha ha. He did it. The first one is the seraphim. Okay. The burning 6-winged caretakers who sing praise around God's throne. Do you want to do the fucking show, Spark? That wasn't cool at all, dude. That wasn't cool at all. The cherubim. The cherubim, the guardians of God's light and wisdom with multiple faces and wings. The cherubim. That's some little dudes. That's some little angels that have the little wings are small guys. And thrones, living chariots of justice. Thank you, Cindy. Living chariots of justice shown as spinning wheels covered in eyes. I saw pictures of the thrones. Okay. They're like pretty cool. The cherubim, I think, are cute. Those are the ones that look so pretty. Nope, no archangel, buddy. You're forgiven. Please don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again, dude. So, the seraphim, the burning 6-winged caretakers who sing praise around God's throne. I saw pictures of those too. They're cute. They are. And I was thinking about that. So when I look at the pictures of the seraphim, I would tell everybody that I would have my eyes closed at night. And I know my eyes are closed, but I would see these really, really bright lights. Really bright lights. And at first I thought they were ETs or aliens, and I'm like, okay, that's who they are. But it was crazy whenever I would see the lights, okay, I knew my eyes were closed, but I thought, they were aliens and ETs. But, come to think about it, the seraphim, it could have been them. It could have been them. Who knows? The cherubs, the guardians of God's light and wisdom, and multiple faces and wings. They're the cute ones. The second triad, the governors. These middle tier angels look after the universe and make sure God's plans run smoothly. Dominions, lords who give orders to lower angels and rule over space and planets. Those are called dominion angels. Virtues, spirits that control the seasons, stars, and natural miracles. Now, this is the second triad, okay, the so called governors. And the powers, warrior angels who keep order and fight evil forces. But that is the second triad. Now, just remember, everybody, as I read this note, read this side. Okay, the powers, warrior angels who keep order and fight evil forces. Who would have to say those were archangels? Who would think that would be the archangels? It's what we've been taught all our life, that the archangels fight evil forces. Let me continue reading, everybody. The third triad are the principalities, the guardians who watch over countries, cities, and human leaders. Kevin says, "Oh, faceless butt with golden light and face, white robe, who are they?" I believe those were, my friend, the powers, the warrior angels. I believe that. Now, right after the principalities, who are the guardians who watch over countries, cities, and human leaders. Exactly, Heidi. I'm going to read it. Heidi says, side thoughts, so much of what we were taught were lies. Yes, ma'am. Yes, they were. They were all lies. All lies. 100% lies. Now comes the archangels. Now they're all the way down there. They're like number 8 on this tier here. They're number 8. Special leaders and messengers of great news. Horseshit. Excuse me. No, special leaders, yeah, they're leaders. And they do message. My number 1 archangel is Uriel. That's the one that goes with me when I go fight, bad spirits. Then you got Michael. Someone's perception of their truth. So is it a lie? It's a lie because we were lied to. Think about it. It's their perception, and everybody has a good perception. But the more I read, whoever had that very first perception, Mish, honestly, they needed to look different, I do believe. See, to me, everybody, today's the 21st century. We're in the 21st century. We're not dumb. We're not dumb. Oh, really? Okay, Kev, they're probably protecting you. But we're not dumb people. We know what's going on. We're thinking now. We're not back in the 1950s or 60s or 70s, what they drilled into our brains. We're starting to think, we're starting to see, and we're starting to feel what we are feeling. Now, I believe that everybody has their own point of view, and I totally agree with that. And it's okay to disagree with that person and share your own thoughts of how you perceive it. Okay? But what I've been reading about all this stuff, I never heard of such stuff. I have never heard of these. I did not know there were, nine tiers of angels. Never knew about it. I mean, the only thing I came close to was at the beginning was the cherubs. I never knew about the seraphim. Never knew about them. So I started reading up on angels. And that's the truth. That is honestly the truth. Now, the archangels are special leaders and messengers of great news. And then you got the angels, the closest helpers and guardian angels assigned to everyday people. That's true. I like that, Kevin. Take what resonates and leave the rest. True. But I've been telling on all my shows, let me read that for you, buddy. The seraphim is the burning six-winged caretakers who sing praise around God's throne. Those are the seraphims. The ones that you're talking about, yeah, they have the one with wings. The ones that about the wheel covered in eyes, those are called the thrones. Those are the ones that have the eyeballs. The wings are the seraphim. And the cherubs are them cute little suckers that, that you see on pictures. But yes. Let me see here. Proxy says, I'd like to verify that Bible stories were written at such and such a time history, but how? I've been asking that question, Proxy, for a long time. How? Kevin has his own. You're welcome, Mish. Kevin has his own tribe of guides that each have their own powers, and some such are similar to archangels, etc. And I'm right there with you. I mean, if I run into something really like some powerful that I need help, I'll call on Uriel. And if it's really bad, then I'll call Michael and I'll call Gabriel. And I come to find out my birthday's in June, and my guard archangel is Zedekiel. That's whose mine is. Zadeikle. I think that's how you pronounce it. But I never use him. Or maybe he's around and I don't really see it. But I know Uriel, honest to gosh, Uriel, he's there. He's there. And he's always there. And what's crazy about Uriel, all right, and me, if Uriel, and this is true, everything I'm telling you is true about my archangel, Uriel. If you want to know more about him, look him up. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do that for you guys right now. Okay. Let's see what he says. Okay, this is my archangel, Uriel. Archangel Uriel is a prominent angelic figure whose name means God is my light, or fire of God. Though not mentioned in the standard canonical scriptures of major modern religions, Uriel appears frequently in Jewish rabbinic tradition, apocryphal texts, and specific Christian branches. Rules and attributes. He's the angel of wisdom, widely regarded as an intellect and spiritual guide who assists with problem solving, studying, and understanding deep mysteries. Please, that would be beautiful, Mish. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so the angel, he's the angel of wisdom. And their own names come to me as well. And that's understandable, Kevin. I mean, I have a story about Mother Earth that would blow you away. Symbolism. He's frequently depicted in religious arts holding an open book, a scroll, a fiery sword, or a flame representing the divine truth and illumination. And he's also the guardians of thresholds. Ancient legends place Uriel at the gate of the Garden of Eden with a flaming sword or task him with watching over thunder and the world's natural order. He's in the book of Enoch as a major celestial guide to the prophet Enoch, explaining cosmic laws, heavenly bodies, and coming judgments. Is historical devotion honored within the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church and recognized as an archangel in various Anglican and traditional Catholic streams. That's my guardian angel. Okay, but here's what I like, and that's who he is. Thank you, Kevin. And that's mine, and he keeps me in mind. Mike Archangel, he's right here with me right now. He just popped up. He's right here. And how I know is that you get to, how you get goosebumps where your spidey senses start kicking in? Okay. Now I know when Uriel's around, and he's like right on top of me, man. He has all it's crazy. You just feels like so much energy is just all over me, man. It's crazy, man. It's really, really crazy. But Uriel goes and he helps me whenever I decide where I want to go off the beaten path. When I decide that I want to be a freaking human, okay? When I decide I want to be a human, he's there pulling my ass back on the path again in which I am supposed to be on. And Uriel does protect me, along with Lakota. Truth and integrity. Thank you, Mish. You are guided to be very honest with yourself and to be true to yourself in all of your activities and actions. Thank you, dear. Thank you for that. That is. You are guided to be very honest with yourself and to be true to yourself in all of your activities and actions. Thank you. Bingo. Yes. Yes. That made me feel good. I got nice little vibes off of that one. Thank you. I like that. But we're getting close. Okay, it is 9:52 p.m. and we'll talk a little bit more about this whole situation tonight. I think do you ever get the Megatron and Enoch? I think it is interesting and a cool story. Also not sure what to think of it or if I should even think about it. Proxy, think about it, dude. Think about it. I haven't read the book of Enoch yet, but I'm definitely going to read it, and I'm definitely going to watch the movie. So he says, I don't know why I was drawn to go and get my angel cards. I appreciate that you did. Wow. Yeah. Stuff, that's why whenever I pull an animal card, that it's crazy. And that's the beauty of beautiful energies. That is what you call the beauty of beauty spirits, or spirits who care and love you. Yes, I'm glad to hear that, Heidi. Yeah, nobody was smiling today, but it was a good show tonight. I really enjoyed it. I think a lot was answered, not answered, but I was able to talk about how I feel about the situations, and I'm glad everybody had an open mind with it. And I think that maybe we can do another show down the road on it again. But you know what? I really want to get into the book of Enoch. Okay, I really do. And maybe I can find somebody who's a scholar on the book of Enoch and, try to help me understand what it's all about. Cindy says, yes, definitely read the book of Enoch and watch the movie. Okay. That I definitely will try to do that, buddy. But we got a couple minutes left, so yes, I'm going to pull the cards. I'll pull a couple cards, and then what I'd like everybody to do, okay, is to write them down and Google them and see if the cards are related to you. Okay. This says you pull the card for the room, surrender and release. Huh. Okay. You pulled the card for the room, surrender and release. You too, Proxy. Have a great night tonight. Okay, so I'm dealing the cards and I'm shuffling them, right? Okay. And the first card I pull is the dog. Is the dog. And that's loyalty. And that's what my guest said a couple Sundays ago, that, I got dog energy. We're all one pack here in my show. That this dog card is for everybody in our thing. This says, let go and allow God and the angels to help you. Everything that you release will either be replaced by something better or he will be returned to you healed. Thank you, Miss. But the dog card is for everybody in this room because we are all loyal to each other. We are all loyal to us. And which I think is great. Second card, oh wow, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. I picked the deer. You got the dog for loyalty. You got the deer for, you're welcome, Miss. You got the deer for just gentleness. The deer is gentle, loyalty, gentleness. And the third card, oh my gosh, check it out, everybody. The eagle. 3 cards. The dog was yes. The first dog was the first card was the dog. And the second was the deer. Yes, Joe Montaldo tells me that all the time. And the second card was the deer. And the last card was the eagle. And the eagle flies up and it's like, he brings messages back from God. And tells you. I love those 3 cards. Those are the greatest 3 cards that, I have drawn. The dog. I like that, Mish. Dogs backwards is God. That's true. Cindy says, yes, definitely our group. It is, Cindy. Absolutely. All 3 cards are pulled for everybody in here tonight, which I think is like totally awesome. God, greed, ELJAE, GAE. That's interesting. But we are getting close to the witching hour, everybody. I want to thank everybody for stopping in tonight and watching the show. Don't forget, I have a Tuesday night show coming up this Tuesday. I don't know what the topic is going to be. Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh my, Audrey and Cassius dropped a box of poppets. The snappers for the 4th. That's cool. So it's Tuesday. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but eventually it will pop into my brain. But again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight and watching the show. I think it was a good talk. It helped me get stuff off my mind, off my chest. And so, children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents and you have no children, find someone give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And please remember, protect the children. And on that note, good night, everybody. Have a nice Sunday night, and I will see you Tuesday. Stay safe and sweet.